Right now, your vehicle is being strangled, choking on 40% of its own potential power, and I have the shop receipts in my hand to prove it. Just last week, a desperate customer handed me $200 to fix a sluggish engine issue that a simple 30-second trick could have prevented entirely. I have spent the last 20 years watching dealerships quietly milk unsuspecting drivers for billions of dollars in unnecessary repairs, and frankly, I am done staying quiet about it. Today, I am blowing the whistle and exposing 17 underground car tricks that your manufacturer buried on purpose. They do this to keep performance and profits firmly in their hands, not yours. You need to stick around until the very end, because the final trick costs less than $12, takes 5 minutes to do, and is the sole reason my personal truck just hit 387,000 miles without a single major mechanical repair. Let's kick things off immediately. The throttle body reset trick. Most modern vehicles utilize something called electronic throttle control. Basically, a computer decides how far your throttle plate opens when you press the gas pedal. The problem is that over time, this system develops learned habits based on your daily driving style. If you do a lot of slow starts, soft acceleration, or sit in traffic, the computer limits the revs to save fuel. Dealerships will charge you $150 to recalibrate this, but here's the ugly truth. The computer never forgets those sluggish habits, even if you change your oil, air filter, or spark plugs. It just keeps driving like you are terrified of the gas pedal. The illegal trick is that you can reset that behavior in under 60 seconds with zero tools. Turn your ignition key to the on position, where the dash lights come on. But do not start the engine. Press the gas pedal all the way to the floor and hold it there for exactly 10 seconds. Turn the key off, release the pedal, and wait another 10 seconds before starting the engine. This sequence wipes the old throttle learning data and forces the ECU to relearn fresh, essentially giving your car a clean personality slate. I did this on a customer's 2018 Camry last week. He texted me an hour later saying, "It feels 20% faster." Drivers consistently report instant throttle response improvements and a smoother idle within minutes. It is a simple trick, but manufacturers rarely advertise it because it exposes just how often their cars are running below potential right out of the gate. But a clean throttle response means absolutely nothing if your engine is choking on carbon that has been building up for years. 2. The secret intake cleaning that feels like adding horsepower. Pop the hood of any car with over 30,000 miles and take a hard look at the throttle body or intake manifold. Chances are high that you will find a black, sticky, tar-like coating. That is carbon buildup caused by oil vapor and fuel residues. Want to guess the fix? A dealer quoted a customer of mine $347 last month for a professional intake cleaning, but you can do it yourself for about $8.15 minutes with a can of CRC intake valve cleaner, or Seafoam. Here's the method. Warm the engine up to operating temperature, then locate the intake. Spray the cleaner directly into the intake stream while a friend holds the RPM steady around 2,000. The engine is going to stumble, smoke, and cough violently. Do not panic. That is normal. You are literally burning years of carbon sludge off the valves. Once the smoke clears, the engine will idle smoother, pull significantly harder, and feel 10 years younger. That customer's Honda Accord gained 3 miles per gallon immediately. At current gas prices, that is over $400 a year saved. A Toyota Camry that shook like a tractor at idle ran like silk afterward. It is technically illegal, only because manufacturers do not want consumers spraying chemicals into their air systems. But it is the exact same chemical process dealerships charge big money for. However, even a pristine intake cannot save you from what is quietly destroying your transmission. Quick reminder, if you are enjoying this insider info, hit that subscribe button right now. 3. The transmission flush hack. If you ask a dealership if you should flush your transmission fluid, they will usually tell you, no, it is sealed for life. But sealed for life is marketing speak for sealed until the warranty expires. I have replaced 46 transmissions that died immediately after the warranty period ended. After that point, sludge and varnish begin choking the tiny fluid passages and solenoids, making your shifts feel lazy or jerky. The illegal workaround? Perform a partial drain and refill every 10,000 to 15,000 miles instead of waiting for the recommended 60,000. Each time you are only replacing about a third of the fluid, but over 3 changes you have replaced nearly all of it. This method keeps the system clean without shocking it, avoiding the failure risk associated with a high-pressure full flush. A customer brought me a slipping Civic with 120,000 miles on it. The dealer wanted $3,800 for a rebuild. Instead of replacing the transmission, we did 3 partial drain and refills over the course of a month. By the third refill, the shifts were crisp, and the car felt brand new. Total cost on 20. Manufacturers won't tell you this because lifetime fluid makes the cost of ownership look cheaper on paper. But this trick saves transmissions from an early death every single day. 4. The spark plug gap adjustment. Nobody mentions this, but every spark plug comes pre-gapped. However, pre-gapped just means vaguely adjusted at the factory. In 20 years, I have never seen a properly gapped plug come out of a box. In real-world engines, being even a few thousandths of an inch off can mean the difference between perfect combustion and wasted fuel. Here is the mechanic's secret. Set the gap slightly tighter than the factory specification, about 0.02 inches less. This small change strengthens the spark intensity under load, effectively improving throttle response and idle stability. I tested this on a customer's Mazda 3 that had a rough idle. I tightened the plug gaps by that tiny 0.02 inch margin. The idle smoothed out instantly, acceleration sharpened, fuel economy rose by a full mile per gallon. That is essentially a $200 dealer tune-up for free. No manufacturer endorses it because it tweaks EPA testing parameters and can slightly alter emissions, hence the illegal tag. But it is harmless for everyday drivers who want sharper throttle response. But even the perfect spark can't help an engine that is suffocating from dirty sensors. That is where the next trick changes everything. 5. The oxygen sensor shortcut. A dealer wanted to charge $280 to replace a customer's O2 sensor yesterday. Oxygen sensors monitor your exhaust gases and tell the ECU exactly how much fuel to mix with the air. Over time, carbon buildup slows their response time, making your engine run rich, which wastes gas and fouls your plugs. Most people just replace them every 100,000 miles, which is expensive. Instead, pull the sensors out, soak the tips overnight in gasoline or a dedicated sensor-safe cleaner, and reinstall them. This refresh costs absolutely nothing and restores sensor accuracy, improving mileage and reducing hesitation. I have saved customers over $10,000 collectively with this one trick in the last year alone. It is the kind of illegal mechanic trick that saves hundreds and feels like your engine just woke up from a coma. But that is only the beginning. In the next section, I will tell you about one of the tricks that actually crosses into "Don't let your mechanic see this" territory. This one will change the way your car breathes, burns, and performs altogether. 6. The Airbox secret breather. Your airbox is not just filtering air, it is limiting it. Manufacturers design intake systems to meet strict noise and emission standards, not performance goals. That is why most stock intakes are full of baffles, resonators, and narrow ducts that choke airflow. Here is the illegal trick. Drill a few small holes on the cold side of the airbox, the section before the filter, to let in additional cool air. Do not touch the hot side near the engine. Cooler, denser air means better combustion and significantly quicker throttle response. It is not about creating a loud cold air roar. It is about giving your engine the oxygen it has been begging for. One Civic owner I worked with gained 2 miles per gallon and smoother acceleration just from 3 half-inch holes hidden under the airbox lid. It cost 5 minutes and a drill bit. But the airbox trick only works if what comes after it, the sensors, are reading the truth. You wouldn't guess how simple it is to circumvent this issue. 7. The MF sensor cleaning that feels like magic. Your mass airflow MF sensor is the brain of your fuel system. It measures how much air enters your engine and tells the ECU how much fuel to mix in response. Over time, microscopic dust coats the sensitive sensor wire, tricking it into reading low. As a result, the engine runs rich, wasting gas and killing spark plugs. Most people replace the sensor for $120 to $200. The illegal trick? Don't replace it, clean it. Unplug the sensor, spray it gently with specialized MAF cleaner. Never use brake cleaner. Let it dry for 10 minutes and reinstall. That is it. The difference is instant. Smoother idle, sharper response, and a stronger mid-range pull. Yesterday, an SUV owner came in getting 14 miles per gallon. $8 of MAF cleaner later, he was getting 18 miles per gallon. That is $800 per year saved at current gas prices. Every dealership tech does this secretly before recommending a replacement, then bills you for the new sensor. But clean sensors mean little if your fuel system is fighting dirty fuel. Even a small amount of debris, a grain of rust, a speck of dirt, can cause catastrophic problems. But there is a bypass you can use. 8. The fuel filter bypass. I have pulled fuel pumps killed by lifetime filters at just 80,000 miles. That is a $1,000 replacement job. Walk into any dealership today, and you will hear the same line. You never have to change your fuel filter again. They call it a lifetime filter. tucked neatly inside the fuel tank. Part of a sealed assembly supposedly good for the life of the car. But what they don't tell you is that lifetime doesn't mean forever. It means until the warranty expires. After that, you are on your own, and so is your fuel system. Modern cars use fine-tolerance injectors that spray microscopic fuel mist. Over time, those lifetime filters clog, starving the engine. The symptoms creep in slowly. Rough idle, sluggish throttle, a faint stumble. Most drivers blame bad gas or spark plugs, but it is almost always fuel restriction. The trick is to install an external inline fuel filter between the tank and the engine bay, a transparent one rated for fuel injection pressure. With a clean, high-flow filter in that spot, you gain visibility. You can literally see what your fuel looks like before it reaches your injectors. Once the filter turns dark, swap it out for a $6 replacement in 5 minutes. Compare that to the alternative, dropping the fuel tank and paying $1,000 at the dealer. Seeing your car's health in that clear fuel filter is a small, satisfying rebellion against planned obsolescence. But clean fuel is just the start. True power ignites within the combustion chamber, where fire, pressure, and timing truly awaken your engine. The next trick is so risky I debated even including it. One mistake costs $4,000 done right. Your engine runs 100,000 miles younger. 9. The water vapor trick. It sounds like an old mechanic's fairy tale. Pour water into a running engine and somehow make it better. But the water vapor trick, or water decarbonization, isn't just a myth passed around in dusty garages. It is an underground technique used by old-school tuners for decades. When done right, it gives an aging engine a second life. With the engine warm and idling, a fine mist of water is introduced into the intake. As that mist enters the hot combustion chambers, it instantly flashes into steam. The sudden expansion blasts away carbon deposits clinging to piston crowns and valves. Those deposits restrict airflow and lower efficiency. Water turns into a micro sandblaster when vaporized. You will often see thick black smoke billowing from the tailpipe as decades of burnt residue are expelled. The result? The engine breathes easier and idles smoother. Still, this is not for the careless. Do it wrong. Pour too much water too fast, and you risk hydrolocking the engine. Liquids don't compress, and a cylinder full of water can bend a connecting rod instantly. That is a $4,000 mistake. But those who do it properly, using patience and a fine mist, swear by the results. Engines that once rattled settle into a quiet hum. Even the cleanest combustion needs something else to make it truly efficient. A perfect spark. Because once the chambers are spotless, what good is it if the spark isn't firing with absolute precision? 10. The coil pack swap. Ignition coils are designed for specific engines, but here is the catch. Many across brands are interchangeable, and some are stronger. Performance enthusiasts often install slightly higher output coils from compatible models to improve spark stability. For example, certain Nissan and Infiniti coils share mounts, but deliver 10% to 15% stronger spark. Swapping them gives instant throttle crispness. It is technically illegal because it alters the emission system, but the effect is immediate. Cleaner combustion and faster response. One Maxima owner gained smoother power delivery and a bump in torque with this simple cross swap. Total cost, $60 from a salvage yard versus $400 at the dealer for OEM coils. Spark and air are only half the story. The next trick tweaks the unseen math your ECU uses to control everything. 11. The ECU Relearn cycle. Whenever you disconnect your battery, the car runs rough because the ECU is relearning its fuel trims. But you can force a perfect relearn. After reconnecting the battery, turn the key to on, wait 10 seconds, then start the car and let it idle untouched for 15 minutes. Do not touch the gas. Do not switch on the AC. This steady state lets the ECU recalibrate air-fuel ratios and idle timing cleanly. Dealerships call it a reprogram and charge $150, but they are doing the same procedure. Do this after every service to feel smoother throttle and cleaner shifts. Calibration means little if the timing is slightly off. This causes complications, but there is a simple hack. 12. The timing advance hack. Engines are tuned conservatively to tolerate poor fuel. That means ignition timing is usually a few degrees from its sweet spot. Last month, I saved a customer $800 in tuning with this. If your car allows manual distributor adjustment, advancing timing by just 2 degrees gives snappier response. For modern engines, a premium fuel reset works similarly. Run 2 or 3 tanks of 91 plus octane and reset the ECU. The computer senses knock-free operation and advances timing automatically. The result is sharper acceleration and better economy. It is illegal because it changes the emissions map, but on the road, it is night and day. Still, timing won't fix a motor that can't breathe through its exhaust. 13. The Catalytic Converter hack. Every catalytic converter builds restriction over time. Replacing it costs $800+, but there is a trick to clean it without removing it. Add half a can of lacquer thinner to half a tank of gas. Drive for 30 minutes at highway speeds to get the exhaust piping hot. The solvent burns through deposits and clears flow paths. I've seen stubborn check engine lights disappear mid-drive after this. It is not manufacturer approved, but it uses the same chemistry as shop services. This is only one side of efficiency. To unlock real smoothness, you need to balance pressure. 14. The PCV system pressure hack. Your PCV valve regulates internal engine pressure. When it sticks, oil vapors flood the intake, causing hesitation. Instead of just replacing it, many mechanics install a small inline fuel filter in the PCV hose. It traps oil mist before it reaches the intake. The result is cleaner valves and steadier idle. The filter costs $3 and snaps in place in 60 seconds. Dealers call this a catch can and sell it for $150. The backyard version works just as well. You have seen incredible ways to boost performance, but the absolute best is yet to come. The top 3 hacks are so powerful, they will redefine how you think about your car. 15. The throttle response booster hack. Modern cars have a built-in lag between the pedal and the engine for emissions and comfort. You can override it. Enthusiasts use throttle controllers, but the cheaper, illegal version is manual. After the ECU Relearn, trick number 7, disconnect the battery again. Press the gas pedal to the floor 10 times in succession. Reconnect and start. This resyncs pedal voltage mapping and tightens sensitivity. Every driver who has done it swears the car feels lighter and more alert. Even perfect response means nothing if your fuel system isn't efficient. The final 2 tricks step into territory even some mechanics won't admit to. 16. The injector pulse trick. Injectors are precision tools that get coated in varnish, turning a fine mist into a dribble. Instead of dumping cleaner in the tank, disconnect the fuel line at the rail. Run the engine on straight injector cleaning solution for 5 minutes, then let it soak for 10. When you restart, it will smoke and stumble, then smooth out like silk. This dissolves deposits directly. It is exactly what professional rigs do for hundreds of dollars. The effect is immediate. Cleaner throttle and sharper cold starts. Fuel is only half the battle. The last real secret lies inside the heart of the engine, where friction steals power. 17. The oil additive that breaks all the rules. Manufacturers say never to add anything to oil. Independent mechanics disagree. A high molybdenum friction modifier, like liqui moly or a ZDDP additive, coats metal surfaces with a film that resists wear and lowers temperature. Engines treated with it idle quieter and maintain pressure longer. One customer's Corolla went from rattling to whisper quiet after a single treatment. Manufacturers discourage it because it makes factory oil look inadequate. But in the real world, friction modifiers are why high-mileage engines keep running long after their paperwork says they shouldn't. Still, even the perfect oil can't fix neglect. All 17 tricks work only if the car is cared for. You just learned tricks that cost under $100 but prevent $5,000 in repairs. Start with the throttle reset right now. But here's what nobody tells you. There is one maintenance trick that beats all 17 of these combined. Something so simple you can do it once a month in your garage, yet so powerful it can literally double your engine's lifespan. It is on your screen right now. Do this monthly, and your engine will last forever. I am revealing the $12 secret that has kept my personal truck running for 387,000 miles without a single major repair. Click it now on the left, because if you aren't doing this monthly ritual, you are literally throwing away years of engine life. I will see you there.